Sadhguru's Teachings.
When you wake up in the morning, you never roll to the left because you could cause some minor damage to the system. That right side is more stable, left side is more vulnerable. There are studies, if you're left-handed, then you could live less.
In Hatha Yoga, whether Surya Namaskar or asanas, why do we always begin with the right side first?
Because it's right. You want to do it on the wrong side Oh. Because it's masculine. Both physiologically, energy-wise and psychologically, right is the more stable side. Stability also comes with rigidity. This is an inevitable factor. Whatever is stable is also rigid. To make yourself very fluid and still be stable takes work. This is why the yogis fell in love with mercury. Fluid, but super stable. The only thing like that. So we love mercury because so fluid and so stable. Right side is more stable and also somewhat more rigid. Physiologically, if you start with the body, physiologically, left side is little more fragile because left has the responsibility of having your heart, which has many layered significance in the physiology. Not just of pumping blood, it has a many-layered significance. And you don't start that side. In India, we told you, even when you wake up in the morning, you roll to the right and get up. You never roll to the left, because the first movement that you make, if you make to the left, you could cause some minor damage to the system. You always roll right. And also, as large part of the landmass on the planet is largely in the northern hemisphere, and human population, 88% of human population is in the northern hemisphere, and in the northern hemisphere there are many forces within the system which function like this, so this is why always right. So immediately people from Australia will ask this question, should I start with left? No. Just because you're going the wrong way, you don't have to continue that way You must start with right because physiologically it is so, psychologically it is so, energy-wise it is so, that right side is more stable, left side is more vulnerable. So always with the right. Even if you wake up in the morning, on the right, first movement should happen on the right side, not on the left side. There are studies which clearly say that those who are left-handed, they tend to live less than right-handed people. Do you know this? You're left-handed. If you're left-handed, if you're constantly using your left hand more than your right hand, then you could live less on an average compared to right-handed people. Of course, life and death has so many other factors involved, but this could reduce one's lifespan because left is a vulnerable space. It needs to follow, it should not be the upfront. So, always on the right.
Gut is not the most intelligent part of your body. It's full of shit. It's a fact. Yeah. It's not the most intelligent part of your body. This feeling from your gut has come because when you're faced with a certain level of indecisiveness, fear will come. When fear comes, it begins to function in your gut because fear and bowel movement are very connected. That's why we say shit scared. They're very connected, I'm telling you. So, when a indecisiveness and a little bit of trepidation or fear enters you, there will be movement in your belly. Don't think it's an intelligent movement. But at the same time, when a certain amount of fear means you perceive danger, when that comes, you become alert. When danger is there, a whole lot of people experience lot more alertness than they ever know in their whole life. Did you ever crash your car or motorcycle or at least fall off a bicycle? So if you're just about to crash something or you're just about to fall off the roof, those few moments when you thought you're going to fall, if you fell maybe you wouldn't live, but when you thought you're going to fall, those few moments you will see they will live up in your memory like this, always. After 30 years, you still remember that one incident because it's so bright, because you were so alert in that moment. So danger brings alertness, or your perception of danger brings alertness. Because of that alertness, you may see little better than what you would have seen otherwise. So that is how this gut thing has come. But believe me, gut is not the most intelligent part of your body. It's better to use your brain. So, when you use your brain, there is a certain level of intelligence which tries to work through a situation by your own intelligence. And of course, there is information from others. One should be able to weigh these two. In every situation, I'll do my own thing will be foolish. In every situation, I will do what somebody else taught me is also foolish. There is no perfect balance between the two. It depends on the nature of activity we are doing and also the level of intelligence that you have and the level of information that you have. How much of information that you have is reliable, or is your intelligence more reliable than the information that you have? There is no perfect judgment of this, it's different for each individual and it's different for each situation. Okay, you can say it's a certain skill, but I wouldn't say a skill because people think they can learn it. If it's a skill, it can be taught. This is not something that you thought, that you learn from somebody, this is something that you slowly evolve. To what extent is your intelligence more reliable than the existing information? This is something that you arrive at your own judgment. For me, in my life, whatever information comes, I just first dismiss it and just look at it from my own intelligence. If my own intelligence is not able to find its way, only then I look at the other information. Because I don't want to clutter myself with that information and prejudice my intelligence of looking at it in a particular way. I want to simply look at everything the way it is. If it doesn't work, if my intelligence is not sharp enough, doesn't have a way to pass, then only I look at other people's information. Everybody need not follow this mode. It's individual and it's different for each situation. In every situation it's not so. When I'm driving in a strange country, usually it's a lady's voice and the GPS which says turn left, I turn left, turn right, whatever she says. I don't use my intelligence. Okay. So, it's a judgment that you make depending on the area of function.
Sadhguru's Teachings.
Either you can go in search of significant places or you can make any place significant. Only when you become significant as a life, then you see it doesn't matter what you do, whatever you do is still worthwhile. Just imagine, if your thoughts and emotions were sweet and your body was here like it's almost not there, how your life would be.
Namaskar, Sadhguru. How significant is the place or the location where we do meditation?
Well, there is a problem in this question. If I say yes, there'll be trouble. If I say no, there'll be trouble. So it's yes and no. Yes, because of course, different places are geared in different ways. Some places are created for certain purposes. If you go sit in the Dhyana Linga, you will see that's engineered for that. Or it could be just that there have been certain people or certain situations which have made certain spaces sacred. This is the whole basis of pilgrimage, that people went in search of those places. But another way of looking at it is, either you can go in search of significant places or you can make any place significant. I feel the second option is good. But for that, your presence should become significant. Your presence being significant means, it's a simple arrangement. You have three dimensions of yourself right now. It can be further divided, but basically, you have a physical body, you have a psychological structure of thought and emotion, and you have an energy body. All these three dimensions are pervaded by certain karmic content. Depending upon this karmic content, your body behaves in one way, your mind behaves in another way, your energies behave another way. For the same situations, different people behave differently. All dimensions. Body behaves differently, mind behaves differently, energies behave differently. Now, in a way, what we are looking at, right from the basic Shambhavi Mudra practice, what we are looking at is to rearrange them in such a way. The first thing is always life energy. The most dominant force in your life is not your body. Because if body is the dominant force, it will do its own little compulsive things and that's all it can do. If mind is the most dominant thing, most of the time you don't know what the hell you're doing, all right? You'll always be thinking of freedom and imitating the society in which you live. That's all that'll happen. Yes, either you will be imitating it or you will be reacting to it. Both ways you're a slave to what is around you, because this is what the mind will do. So you have to arrange yourself in such a way, your life or your life energy is the first thing in your life. This is the most dominant thing. Your body and your mind are minor things. If this one thing happens, then space doesn't matter. Wherever you sit, it's fine. Wherever you sit, it's a significant place because your life has become significant. Significance of life, when I say, I'm not talking in terms of social terms. How significant you are in this world, that's not the point. As a life, you become significant. Only when you become significant as a life, then you see it doesn't matter what you do, whatever you do is still worthwhile. Simple things, complicated things, big things, small things, it doesn't matter. Whatever little thing you do is just fantastic, simply because you as a life has become significant. If you allow your body to become significant, well, you just want to serve the body all the time. How many troubles people are getting into trying to serve their body all the time. Just eating, sleeping, copulation and dying is taking a whole life for most people. Just these arrangements are taking a whole life, isn't it? And the psychological nonsense, endlessly it's going on. Just imagine, if your thoughts and emotions were sweet and your body was here like it's almost not there, how your life would be? That's how it would be, simply. Doesn't matter. Wherever you are, however you are, everything is fine with you because
As a life, nothing really bothers you, it's only physical and mental discomforts. That's all, isn't it, the whole world? That's all you're suffering, physical and mental discomforts. If these two things became minor, not that it will disappear, they became minor in your life, life became significant, then you don't have to go in search of any pilgrimage, any place. Where you are is fine. In fact, your presence will make the place significant. He learned everything within the womb. You have 14 great possibilities within you. He told his soldiers, if one drop spills out of this vessel, take his head off. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. He stood there. There was a sage, a profound sage. His name was Sukha. He was the son of Vedavyasa. Sukha learnt everything that he can learn, all the scriptures and the knowledge and the traditions and everything, when he was in his mother's womb. He learnt everything within the womb. When he came out, he came as a child sage. So he was a Bala Brahmachari, nobody initiated him, but he is like that. One day Sukha thought he must go to Vaikuntha and meet Vishnu. So he went there. The gods stopped him and they said, what? He said, I'm Sukha, son of Vedavyasa. I want to see Vishnu. They looked at him and said, we see that you're fully stuffed with knowledge. We can see Vedas in your body, Upanishads in your body, every other scripture in your body, but you don't have a guru. You have no admission here, just go back. So Sukha was confused because he had never thought what is a guru, because everything that anybody would want to know was already with him when he was born. So he came back to his father and he said, Father, they would not let me into Vaikuntha. They said, I need a guru. What is that? I want that. They're saying my knowledge is not good enough. Then Vedavyasa said, see, there is only one person who can be your guru. This is King Janaka. Sukha said, okay, I will go there. And then he went. He went there and he saw at the gates of the palace, he looked at the palace, a very elaborate, luxurious building with lots of aesthetics. He said, this is not a place where my guru can live. This looks too luxurious and not right for a spiritual person. So he turned back. Went again asked his father. His father said, Janaka is the only guru for you. Again he went, again he saw king was relaxing in the garden with his queen. He said, oh, this is not the man, and he went. Like this up and down trips happened 12 times. Then the 13th time, Vedavyasa said, see, you have 14 great possibilities within you. 12 you have wasted in these 12 trips. There are just 2 more, it's up to you. So Sukha went to the palace gates, he did not like the opulence of the palace, the way people were all well-dressed in silks. He didn't like that, said, this is not a spiritual place. But because his father had warned him, there are just 2 more left, if you lose that, you lost everything. So he went in. So he said, I want to see the king. First thing he was expecting, Sukha, the son of Vedavyasa, when he comes, the king will come and receive him. Nobody came. Then he came and requested, I want to meet the king. So Janaka inquired, where is he standing? They mentioned where. He was standing in a place where normally out of the palace they throw all the refuse, it goes and falls in a pit. He was standing in that place. King Janaka said, tell him to stand right there. He stood there. As evening came, the day's garbage, they started throwing it out. So he stood there, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. He stood there, a heap of garbage covered, but he just stood there. Then King Janaka asked, what's happening? They said, he's standing right there. He said, ask him to wash up, give him some fresh clothes and bring him here. So that was done, and then he went in front of Janaka. Janaka said, see, in honor of your arrival, I have organized a whole lot of celebration and festivities, lot of things happening around here. Go and enjoy yourself, but just carry this vessel with you. The vessel was full of milk to the very brim. He said, carry this vessel with you and just what we have organized in your honor, please enjoy the festivities and come back. So Sukha carried this vessel and went. It's too full. He said, he told his soldiers, if one drop spills out of this vessel, take his head off. So when your head is in question, you walk carefully. Very carefully, without spilling a drop, he walked through all the festivities and came back. So, did you enjoy the festivities? Janaka asked. He said, what festivity? I was just watching the milk. So Janaka said, I want you to know this is me. Just to see that the milk doesn't spill, you needed so much attention. Keeping my connection with the divine, it needs lot more attention, but still, look at me, I'm still involved with everything around me. You are still in a place, if you focus on one thing, the other thing won't happen to you. So you need to work. And he took him as a disciple. A man who was considered by everybody as a celebrated born sage, born as a sage. But he needed this because one thing is to withdraw, to connect with the deepest core of who we are, at the same time to be able to be active. My whole work is about this. My work is not a teaching, not a philosophy, not an ideology, it is not from a scripture. These are simply technologies to give you tools where if you sit here, your body is here, your psychological space is working somewhere else, what is you is little away from this. Once you have a little distance between you and your body, physical suffering is over. Once there is a little distance between you and your psychological process, mental suffering is over. You can enjoy everything, you can be involved in everything, but never entangled in it.
Sadhguru's Teachings.
Someone who is autistic means at a certain level, sometimes it can be very bad, that's different. At a certain level, one thing that's happened is not much input gets into him from outside world. Sometimes it's a blessing. Somebody normal means there's too much external input. So, because of the kind of societies that we have created, which are absurd and twisted out, if you ask me. Because of that, as you were mentioning a certain time of life as if it's problem, teenage means problem, middle age means problem, old age means problem. So only death is no problem. Isn't this so? People think teenage is problem, Middle age is problem, old age is problem. What is not the problem? Only death. The only time they're peaceful and still is when they're dead. Unfortunate, this is not what a human being is made for. But we have structured everything like that a man can never find rest in his life. Rest does not mean physical rest. There is no one moment of ease, simply. We structured societies where you have a house mortgage which is for 30 years, a car mortgage which is for 10 years, an education loan which is 22 years. You got a life term. You're doing your time in an open prison. So in such a situation, any sensitive human being will become withdrawn and miserable unless they're heavily equipped or completely insensitive. Yes, we're creating such societies. This is our idea of civilization, unfortunately. So, about the boy, without seeing him, we cannot say what can be done. We do not know what's the level of perception. But if he's happy, what's the problem? Somebody thinks he is not normal, so that way no, none of you are normal in my perception. So it's okay. If he's happy, it doesn't matter. Maybe he can't do a few things that others do. There are a whole lot of people who cannot do what somebody else does here, isn't it? Isn't it so? Isn't that true with every one of us? So what he can't do certain things. Never compare one human being with another. If you compare one with the other, everybody's abnormal. Yes or no? Show me one normal human being here. If you hold any one person as normal standard, there is nobody else like him. That means everybody else is abnormal. So do not compare and put these titles on children. This one is autistic, this one is ADH, that one is XYZ. This is not needed. Different people have different levels of competence and capability, it's okay. If it's causing pain and uncontrolled misery, then we must be concerned about it. If it is not, it's fine. So, don't put any titles on the boy. It's just another piece of life, like anybody else. It's fine. His capabilities may not be the same as somebody else. That means he cannot be a cog in the larger machine. I'm very happy for that. I would like to see every child grows up like that, not to grow up as a cog in a large, monstrous machine we have created. But every individual blossoms as an individual human being. Maybe our economy then will not be touching some mad peaks, which are anyway… When I look at the economy touching mad peaks, I know we are heading for destruction straight. Yes, we are. We have created an economic engine into which you have to feed your children as fuel. Yes, I want you to get this straight. We have built a huge, monstrous machine where your children are the fuel. You're anyway burning. You're preparing your children for the next load of fuel to be burnt. From the age of 6, what will you become, what will you become, what will you become? What will I become? What am I supposed to become? No, no, will you become doctor or engineer? Tell me, what will you become, what will you become? How much money will you make? What is this rubbish? Have we lost it? We've definitely lost it in terms of life. So, at least one boy will not be a cog in the machine and I'm happy. And it's time every parent thinks straight. Whether you want to feed them as fuel into that monstrous machine which is eating up the whole planet. Yes, he's not making anybody happy. He's just burning the whole planet. And if you don't feed your children into this machine, at least it will slow down a bit. You can't stop the monster, but you can slow it down. Your girl, you send her here, we'll make her nice and send her back. A man went to the doctor and the doctor said, you have only 3 weeks to live. The man became distraught and said, Doctor, what can I do? The doctor said, take 3 mud baths a day. He said, oh, is that going to help? Can I live with it? Am I going to live longer if I do this? Doctor said, no, it's just that when they bury you, it won't be too much of a shock. You've already been there every day, 3 times. So, usually earth, soil. In United States, people refer to the soil as dirt. You call it dirt or soil? Huh? Indian people soil. I'm asking others, do you call it dirt or soil? Normally in language, soil. So it's called dirt out there. So dirt, you're 12% dirt, all right? Just to get the dirt off, because the essence of your physicality is formed by the earth. Water, air, fire is there, but the essence of your physicality is because of the earth that you have taken. So this is the core physicality of who you are and it's only 12%. Only 12%, but that is the core element of your physicality. But that is what is getting in the way. Water, easily you can transform. Air, you can easily transform. Fire takes some effort, but that is not really in the way, it's in a different way, the way fire functions. It is the earth which is getting in the way. So, just 12% getting in your way. See, not a big obstacle. Just 12% of your body is getting in the way of your liberation. I want you to understand, only 12%. You can go through the water, isn't it? You can go through the air. Fire you can cross, doesn't block you, in fact it lights up. It's only 12% of your physicality which blocks. Just getting that little dirt out of your way, that's not so complex. It's complex because you're identified with it and you're trying to change it. That's why it's complex. See, this flower, so beautiful and so alive, but it was not difficult for you to cut this from the plant and stick it here, isn't it? Your little finger, is it as beautiful as this flower? Is it? Don't tell me. Is it? No. Just cut it and put it here, let me see. No, because you're identified with it. No pain. Pain is not the only thing, we can give you an anesthetic. Pain is not the only thing. Pain is a protection, We can subvert the pain, isn't it? We can give you an anesthetic. Can you cut this finger and stick it here? Because you're identified with it. Yes? That's why it's in the way, not otherwise. Otherwise it's not in the way. What is a stepping stone has become a hurdle now because you're identified with it. So one way is, Bhuta Shuddhi means taking charge of it so that you can shape it the way you want it, so that it functions the way you want it. But at the same time, becoming super capable with the body can also be trouble for some people because they will get more identified with it because it's functioning so beautifully. They'll get furthermore identified. So, Bhuta Shuddhi comes with a certain balance, a certain mastery and a certain dispassion, a certain mastery and a certain dispassion. All practices are governed like this. So particularly practices concerned with earth are very strongly governed like this because if your body becomes super capable, you may become more ignorant than the way you are right now. It happens, isn't it? If you were like a little blob, you wouldn't be so proud of your body, you wouldn't be so identified with it. But you're like that, now it's all about your body, isn't it? Yes or no? It becomes all about your body simply because it is receiving appreciation, it is being looked up to. Now you become all about the body. To keep the body very fit and efficient and to keep a certain distance from it. This is how all practices are devised. On one level to make it competent, on another level to create a certain space. Without the space, if competence comes, ignorance rises to heavens, you know. It becomes… one becomes far more ignorant than the way they are right now. So the practices of the earth are specially designed in such a way that without a proper initiation, they're never really taught. Because dispassion should be the first step before competence, otherwise people will get more entangled than the way they are right now. So can it be taught? Definitely it can be, but everybody being part-time yogis, weekend yogis, going on adding more and more practices, not good. Such people, what they should do is, all of you, what you should do is, in a year, you must take off for 2 or 3 weeks minimum, 2 or 3 times in a year, where this week or 15 days that you spend is just about this one, only for this being. Oh, is it not selfish? I want to go holiday, vacation with my family, I want to do this, I want to take care of children. I want you to understand, the best thing you can do to your family, to your children, to your society and to the world around you is enhance this one, isn't it? Yes or no? This is the best gift you can offer to anybody. If you become a beautiful human being, isn't this the best thing you can offer to people around you? Most human beings are difficult. Not always. I know that. Always difficult means they would have got rid of you. But difficult many times in a day. No, only twice a day. If somebody is difficult twice a day, it's quite a burden to carry them through, isn't it? Every day you get angry for 5 minutes only, you go wild for 5 minutes. This is enough to tire somebody of you, isn't it? You don't have to be angry 24 hours of the day. Just 5 minutes a day, every day you get angry, within a short span of time, people will have nothing but disgust for you. Yes or no? To make yourself disgusting, you don't have to dip yourself in filth. You just put one blob on your nose and walk around. That's enough. Nobody wants to come near you, isn't it? Everything else is clean and washed up properly. Just one blob of filth on your nose. Does anybody want to touch you? Huh? No? So that's all it takes, I'm saying. You don't have to be nasty throughout the day. Once in 3 days you practice nastiness, that's enough to be tired of you, isn't it? So you must get the dirt out of the way. At the same time, without it you cannot exist. So you have to make it more competent and more capable and more conscious. The same clay can be made into so many things. Yes? You can make a ball and throw it at somebody, or you can make a pot out of it. You can make just a pot to hold water, or you can make a very beautiful ornamental pot, or you can make porcelain out of it. You can do many things depending upon how many processes you're willing to do to that, isn't it? A piece of clay. So this is just that, a piece of clay. Depending upon how many processes you're willing to do to this one, accordingly, this becomes a completely different thing. Maybe you're just a brick, or maybe a pot, or maybe a very beautiful pot, maybe a porcelain pot. Today porcelain is being used even in engines, automotive engines, you know this? You know? They're making pistons out of porcelain. The most efficient thing, it can take any kind of temperature. So, it depends how many processes the same soil has gone through, isn't it? And you are also made of the same material. Depending upon how many processes you put through, accordingly the quality of this keeps on rising. So the quality of it rises if it happens without the necessary distance, that itself will become an entanglement. So, practices concerning earth element are taught in a particular way so that this balance happens of competence and space, both should happen together.